Okay, so let's start with it. Today's topic for the demo's purpose is web fragments. So we use it for pluggability. That's why we call it as pluggability with web fragments. Now the first question I want to ask, as you may have developed, some of you may have developed web application on your system for learning purposes, or maybe in your workplace as well. So when you develop your web application, do you think you have you are the only one team or only one developer who is developing web pages for the web application? Let me repeat my question. Do you think there is only one team to develop a complete website for an organization, or there are multiple teams? Give me the chat window, please. Yes, no. Okay, I got some answers. Okay, yeah, multiple teams. Yes, many teams are there. So in that case, as we know that this is just a very general diagram. So CEO is probably the top of the company, I can say that. So there's a commercial department, accounting department, technical, purchasing, selling, marketing department. So there are a lot of departments, and you must have heard a term known as domain experts, which are quite used to develop applications only for that department. They have the overall structure information that how that department works. So in this, what we are doing here is, we will say that we will try to develop a website known as Whizlabs website. So you can take at the CEO level a Whizlabs website. So there are multiple departments like design, installation, maintenance departments, which they have to work together, and finally one complete website need to be developed. So here what we need to do is, so installation team will work separately, and they will give their work to your own, and then you need to club the whole thing together to complete a website. Is the agenda clear? Oh, okay. Let me see. Jagriti, is my voice is clear now? Yes, great. So is the agenda clear that what we are trying to do? We are trying to develop a complete website with different teams working separately, and finally we have to give a final output. That's what agenda for today is. So let's move forward. So earlier in up to Java EE 5, this feature was not there, and if you remember, I'll not get into the detail of this, but every in Java EE 6 there is a new feature known as annotations. That is not today's agenda, but earlier all the servlets need to be defined in the web.xml. Remember, if everyone will develop put it into web.xml, just imagine the kind of file it will be. So that this is going to be a huge file, and the person who deploy it, who is known as an administrator, will find a very tough time. In Java EE 6, a lot of things has been done. So in this, the first page, this is a complete, this is a overall file, overall site. So if I run this, it will show me that welcome servlet. You can see that. When I run this, so this is my welcome servlet. Now, apart from this, now this is a complete website, you can say up to CEO level. So now I have to develop some application on the design level, installation department level. So finally, both need to be clubbed together. So let's go for the website here and see basic theoretical part. It says Servlet 3.0. Earlier, up to Java EE 5, the version was known as 2.5. So that thing was known as Servlet 2.5 version. Here 3.0 is there, where annotation has been introduced. Offers a web fragment. Web fragment is nothing but a small department who is developing it and finally clubbing it with the final website. Descriptor is specifying the details for each library. Web fragment provides modularity. Means every department can develop its application at a modular level. So enabling logical partition like design department, installation, account department, those all are logical partition of the web.xml. We will see that, how to put that in web.xml, and information added as a jar file. It offers less configuration, mean to say web.xml will not be very huge. How? We will see it. And improve pluggability to the developers. Like developer can develop any application separately and plug it into your complete website. Any question here before I move forward? Any questions here, please? No. Okay. So let's start developing it. Then this theory will make more sense. So according to my earlier diagram, now what I will do is I will create an installation department. So let's start creating it. New, go to others. There is a project here known as Web Fragment project. Normally for a complete application, you develop a dynamic web project, but when you want to create a small pluggable module, in that case, Web Fragment project is what you need to select. Go to next. Here, project name is, I'll say, installation department. Like this. Just click on it. Now open this. Once you see here, see the difference, complete difference. See the difference between installation department, which is a web fragment project, and this is a complete. So you don't have the lot of things like here you have web.inf, web.xml. You will not find this. Instead of web.xml, there is known as web fragment.xml, which actually does the modulation. So let's go ahead. Let's see the structure of this first. It says name. That's it. Now this name can be referred as a module in web.xml. We will see that later on. First of all, when we say that we need to create some servlet or other files over here, how you do it? Just copy this. Anyway, I'm not rewriting it. I'm just giving it. Tom.viz. I'll change the package installation, and here this one also I'll change the name to installation page, something. So I'll change the name of servlet, and I will change this to install. So probably that will be a good idea. So with that installation department. So that's what we are doing. So that's how the basic page is. Now, like the way I run the welcome servlet, I cannot do it. Same with the installation page. Welcome page, you can run it. But this one you cannot run this page because it is an installation department. That is a web fragment project, and you cannot run it directly because it's not a complete project. It won't support it. Now, what to do? So now what my next procedure is to club this installation department into Whizlabs website. So how we do it? Right click on it. Let's go for the theoretical part of it. As we said earlier here, information added as a jar file. So you need to add it as a jar file. How and where? Let's see it. It can be defined and enclosed in a jar file meta-inf. So I'll come to that part. But the only thing, this jar file must be placed inside the web application web-inf lib directory. So you need to put a jar file into web-inf lib directory. So you need to create a jar file of installation department and put it into this lib. Right click on this. There is something known as export. You need to say, you can say jar file, simple jar file. Where you need to put it? Desktop, demos. I need to go to the where is that? Demos, sorry, wrong folder. So I need to go to Whizlabs website. This Whizlabs website, into the web content, into the lib web-inf, into the lib directory, and here I will say install department. You can put any name jar how you would like to. This one. So just finish it. Give basic warning. We will look at later, but it will work. So here you have something in the installer jar. Right click on it. Just refresh it so that it picks up. Sometimes these are not good enough to pick it up. Eclipse especially. Right click on it. Run this. Run on server. Run this. Anyway, it is going to show me the welcome servlet. But now, what is this thing? Let's say install. So has it been included into this? Yes. So it says installation department servlet. So what we have done here is we have included a module project, installation module project, which has been done separately, but I have included it into my company website. Similarly, you can add as many as department you would like to, like installation, technical, accounting. So there are a lot of departments which you can design separately and club together. Am I clear here? Yeah, there's some question. Medra. Yes, please ask your question. Any question here? Any question here, please? No? Okay. Let's go to the structure here and see a bit more. And let's see what we have learned here. This one is okay. So it can be defined and enclosed in the jar file meta-inf. So let's look into this jar file structure. That will make things more clear. Where it is in the demos folder, into Whizlabs site, web content, web-inf, lib. So let's open it with the jar file. So it says when we exported that file, it comes as this installation, and there's the class or servlet name. And in meta-inf, so this is the file which you have, which actually does the whole thing. Let's go to. So it says it can be defined and enclosed in the jar file. It is actually a web fragment file. The container employs the configuration as described in the web fragment. So whatever you define in web fragment, there's a lot of things which can be done, but we are not going to do everything today. There is multiple web fragment. As I said, multiple departments. So there will be different and multiple web fragment files, which can be logically viewed as web.xml. Now, what happened is, this is an interesting point. So finally, when your website gets loaded, all the web fragments and web.xml get combined together and to show it a complete web.xml file. Similarly, let's do one more here. Let's say what department? Let's say maintenance department. So I'll say other maintain department. So create this. I'll just copy paste this whole part so that I don't have to write it again. So change the name to maintain page. So maintenance department, maintain, that's fine. Now what I need to do here is I need to export this in the same procedure. Now where I need to put this? Here in Whizlabs site web content, instead of install.jar, I'll change the name to maintain.jar. So the same site in this web content, web-inf lib maintain.jar instead of this thing. Just finish it off. Okay. Now run this website again. Welcome. So now I'll say maintain. It works fine. And then you have install. That also. So this is what called pluggability of multiple modules into a company. Any question here, please? Any questions? Yes, somebody want to ask question. Yes, Jagriti, I have unmuted you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. When we are adding jar file, is there any configuration which needs to be done in web.xml file?
It depends on. Yeah, please go ahead with your question.
When we are, say, we are adding installation.jar file in that webinf library folder, is there any configuration we need to do, or just it will pick up by the annotations?
Now, there are lot, depends on case to case. This one case we will discuss here, but by default, okay, let me give you answer here. Sometimes, let me bring up a diagram.
Okay.
This will be clear from here. So sometimes, suppose you are loading the technical department.
Yeah.
But technical department says that I have dependency on design, installation, maintenance department.
Yes.
So means these need to be loaded first before you load any other department.
Yep.
Right? So in that case, you need to set the priority, which module will be loaded first, which need to be loaded last or in between.
Yeah, the order or the sequence of loading, I mean.
Exactly. Now, currently, we don't have anything as a priority. So
yeah.
now it's up to the container how it loads it. I don't have any control over it. But if you wanted to do any configuration, there is something known as absolute ordering. You can order it, that which you want loaded first. So these kind of configuration which can be done in web.xml file. Similarly, there are ordering which can be done in web fragment as well, which is known as ordering after, before. So it depends on what you wanted to do, you can definitely do same. Now, one more thing. Sometimes due to backward compatibility, annotations may or may not work. There are a lot of issues, when you put annotations. You need to take a lot of things into consideration. So in that case, there is, like servlet, the way you used to do it in 2.5, those configurations also will be done into this. So, everything can be done over here. Nothing that it can't be done in your external file. But, if suppose you want to, look for some EJB references, you want to make it as a distributable, which is used for clustering. You want to use for ordering. You want to connect it with some persistent ADIs. So all those things can be done. It depends on what you want. Am I clear?
No, I was asking about, is there any way we are specifying any link between the entire Whizlabs site and the installation department? Is there any way we are specifying that link?
No.
Like
No.
module and the main site?
Currently, we are not doing it because when we don't specify in web.xml, what it does, it goes up and pick up those jar files over here. Where is in this
yeah, but those jar files. Yeah, but those jar files are loaded independently, right? Say installation is independent that of maintain. But is there any way we can specify some relation between those two departments and the main site?
You want to make a link between this and that. Certainly, yes, if you wanted to. Okay, I'll come to that in 5 minutes. I'll show you that how you do it, the absolute ordering, how you want it and do it. Just give me a few minutes. I'll come to that.
Okay.
That's there in today's agenda. I will discuss it. Okay. So that's one part. Let's completely finish this up. So here, so what is the procedure as we learned? The web fragment must reside in a file known as web fragment. Here. So it's a file known as web fragment file. So that's your top element. In web.xml, the top element is known as web app. Next part, web fragment must be put as a jar file into that. It must be placed in web.inf directory. Meta complete I'm not going to discuss because this is it makes you, if it is false here, like the way it is, then it goes and connect with other jar files, otherwise it does not connect. So that's just an overview. I'm not getting into this. It takes a very long time. Now, just few questions before I move forward. Should I complete it? Okay, just go for this question and give me the quick answer. Sorry, you won't be able to answer immediately. Just let me do some more over here. give me a second. Now, suppose you want to load the installation before you want to load the maintenance. So what we need to do in the web.xml is known as absolute ordering. You can say that there is only one element known as name. The name you can pick up. You want installation to be first, right? So in the web.fragment XML file of that installation department, copy this name, or you can copy the post right here. So you say installation department first, and then you can easily say others. Is let loading of the other department after installation department is done. So once I run this, I'll say here as install. Working wise, you will not see any difference. But now only difference is installation department get loaded first because maintenance has a dependency on the installation. Now, if I don't do this others, what will happen? I have both jar file installed in main in my this thing, but I have not mentioned anything into my web.xml. This one is okay. Install, okay. Maintain, that's not. Now, what has happened is, if you don't mention it, what will happen is, it's understand that there may be some jar files or fragment files which I need to find and load it. So by default, the order is unspecified and it loads all the jar files. But if you want to say that please to follow this order, then you can say absolute ordering. In absolute ordering, if you want to load only one department, just mention on it. So it will not load the maintain department. If you want to load other department also, either you make a name, it clearly says that please load that department for me, like maybe maintain department. Either you say this over here, or you can, if there are many departments, you can say others. That's also fine. But in absolute ordering, if you mention it in the web.xml file, be careful what you're doing. You are changing the order, and maybe it could by mistake you have forgot to mention others or put some name of some department. Then those department files will not be loaded into the complete website. Am I clear? Please give me on the chat window before I go for the question answer session. Hello. Okay, Vishnu said if I do not want a jar file, not if I want load, then how can we let the class? I think this your question is answered, Vishnu. Okay. Now somebody want to ask question. Jagriti. Yes, Jagriti, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, great. Now, let me go on the question window. So please give me the answer for this question. Okay, Vishnu said, given the answer. Let's see, Jagriti, Madrug. Let me see others. Jagriti also said 5. Okay. Ambrose, Bob, Dimaro, Shobit, Packet. Please hurry up. Quickly, please. Okay. Okay, let's discuss the answer here. So it says the order of web fragment is always unspecified by default. This is very true. And it depends on the container specific implementation. No, it depends on web.xml. Web.xml says that if we don't load it, then it goes to the container. Otherwise, web.xml is actually the one which loads the whole thing. So always remember, whenever you deploy any web application, web.xml is the first file which gets loaded. Always. So the order of web fragments is always specified. It depends on web fragment. No, name does not say anything. Order of web fragment is always specified and depends on web fragment order value. Just let me give you an introduction of this order. In web fragment, if I go to this, if I want to say ordering, here, just let me give a, in this, like technical department, it is a web fragment to the CEO, but it further contains 3 web fragments: design, installation, and maintenance. So technical department, you will include 3 departments: design, installation, maintenance. So 3 jar will be included into this technical department. And now you will make a jar file of technical department and then put it into the CEO or Whizlabs website. So web fragment can further contain web fragments. But here it does not depend on it. It was not meant to this, but ordering or does not meant in this thing. So ordering is always depend on the web.xml file. That's absolute order. So that's always the head of. The order of web fragment scanning is discovering is always specified. It depends on alphabetical order of chart. This is the nonsense answer. So ordering of web fragment is unspecified by default, but the ordering rule can be specified in deployment descriptor. It's nothing but web.xml file. So the answer, the correct answer for this is 5. Is the question answer clear? Okay, let's see. Now question is if there is a shared native library and if it's not a lib directory, I want that library not to load, then that's again that web.xml, with that you can control it. For the other department, if you have a library which is native, like maybe in a Java library, that will load with the application itself. I don't think so you can store that. Only web fragment you have control, not on the in web.xml you only control the web fragments, not the native like Java or Java E. Those libraries you cannot control. Like in Maven also, it will load it whatever it needs it. So you can't control that. Now, just give me this question, please. Consider the idea of web fragment. Which statements are true? choose 3 answers as is written very clearly. Hurry up, please. Okay. Jagriti has given answer. She says, okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's discuss it. I got answers from few of them. So it says a web file fragment file name to be discovered by the container must be named as web fragment. Yes, that's the correct answer. The first one is right. Second one says web underscore fragment. No, that's not the answer. So second one is incorrect. The third one says a web fragment is packaged as a jar file, as we did. Its web fragment XML need to be located at the top of the jar directory. No, web fragment XML file actually need to be in the meta directory. So if web fragment jar file, web fragment XML file need to be located directly under the meta directory. So this one is the correct answer in the meta directory. Next one, it says a web fragment package the jar file need to be discovered by the container. It must be located somewhere. Now, somewhere is not the thing. It works in Java EE. So, if a web fragment package is a jar file need to be discovered by the container, it must be directly under the web INF directory. No, jar file is always under. Let me do it under the web INF lib directory, and which is this one. So the answer for this is 1, 4, and 7. Am I clear here? Yes. Tomorrow, Jagruti, Vishnu, wait, Venkat, Ambrose, Bob. Okay, let's do one more question. This one could be a good answer. This is the last question for the day. And I'm quite sure you will be able to answer this. You can say web app, absolute ordering, fragment 2. Fragment 2 is name, I think, installation and the departments, which we did it. This one, this one. Did anyone give me an answer? Only one answer. Okay, I start getting the answers. Okay, Bob says G, Jagriti says B, And I'm getting, yes, Dimaro, come on, Vishnu, Ambrose. It says Jagriti says fragment 1 will not be loaded. Okay. Vishnu says G. Okay, let's start discussing it. I think let's go back to the earlier demo. That's what. It's a huge topic and everything cannot be done today. Small session. But in this, as I said, in absolute ordering, whatever you name here will be loaded. Whatever you don't name here doesn't get loaded. If you don't want to mention every name, probably you can go for others. It will load all other fragments and jar files. So according to this, it says absolute ordering name fragment 2. That's it. It does not say fragment 1. And it says in what will be the order in which the container will scan and combine. As I said earlier, the first file that gets loaded is always, can you write on the chat window, what is the file which gets loaded first when you deploy your web application? On the chat window, please. Web.xml, absolutely. So the web.xml is always loaded. Yes, Dimal, thank you very much. Web.xml is loaded first. Now comes to the absolute ordering. It says only fragment 2. So fragment 1 does not get loaded. So this one does not matter. This one will not be there. Web.xml and fragment 2. So the answer for this is G. Am I clear here? Any question on the chat window or somebody want to speak? Let me know. Yes, Ambrose, is the answer clear to you? Why we have selected G? Jagriti, Vishnu, give me the chat window if you have understood this. Great. So any question you can write on the chat window, and Raj, you can take back the access. Somebody want to speak, let me say. Yeah, Vishnu, tell me.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm having one problem in understanding. How does the class loader at the Java level work in deciding which one to load and which one to not load? And in that context, I mean, if I am putting the jar file to be shared across multiple applications, like not only CEO application, then how will the class loader know that this jar file could be put across multiple applications?
So that, that is the thing which comes at the server level. First of all, it does not come as the web fragment part.
Right,
so
right.
If you look at only the web application part, whatever jar file you put into the lib or attached to it, those get loaded. Now here what we are discussing is how that web application plus web fragment get loaded. As far as the class loader is concerned, like earlier there was servers were known as monolithic. So depend on the dependency among the modules, it gets loaded. It's monolithic. But nowadays, a lot of like in Glassfish also, in JBoss also, so there are a lot of servers which is modular. You can configure, it has to be done by the administrator, not by you, that which module you want to load at first and the consecutive, or which you want to load and which you don't want to load. So those jar files can be put into directly into the server configuration files.
Okay.
Are I clear here, Vishnu? So those things, when you say libraries, which libraries means it's actually a module. So module need to be put into a server level so that every application can get it, or they want to exclude it also. There is also a setting. It depends on server to server. I have worked on JBoss a lot. So there is a way you can say that, please, I don't want this library. I want only this library. That you can store at a server level plus at a maybe application level as well. But here when you say web fragments, here you are only controlling what web fragments I want to load and in what order. So you are not going for any library which is at the server level or beyond the application level.
Can I have a web fragment share across multiple applications?
Definitely not. Well, why not? You can just put this jar file and wherever you want to use. This is a jar file. Put it anywhere you would like to. Your wish.
Okay.
Right?
But what will happen is that if two applications are running the same jar file, then there would be a conflict that this jar file.
If you are looking for the database level where there's a conflict, then you need to configure it. First of all, database, if you have put an exclusive log, especially using JPAs.
Sorry to interrupt. Not on the database level. Just if we just as it is install.jar, we are putting it in two different applications. So what will happen is that when the class loader will load from Whizlabs site, and then the second time it will load from some other application, at that time we need
no, it will not. No, it will not load because you have put jar files. So it becomes a jar file only for this application. For another application, you have put a copy of that jar file.
Okay, it won't conflict.
This jar file can be put into multiple applications. So that becomes their own part. So you are not sharing that jar file. When, one jar file can be put at many levels, so it never conflicts.
Okay. No, just in case if the class loader loads one static constant, which is specific to one application, and it finds a similar constant at in another application, or some static initializer which is there in one jar file. So when it combines in one application, it will also see that the same static initializer is in another application. Then will it not complain that this is already loaded, so it won't load?
No, when you have conflict of two, even that is a part of SCJP when you load it together. So there is what you need to see is it's a part you must have learned in SCJP. It says that when you load two things which have a common name, only one get loaded. So it never conflicts. It never complains.
Okay.
It does not complain. It works.
Actually, I have I have tried that, and I was getting such kind of error. I can send it across.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, fine.